family, and I am back tonight with another show. Oh man, I'm hitting y'all back to back nights with bangers. Man, Rod Hayes one night, this gentleman here tonight. I'm about to bring him on, about to introduce him. Uh, get comfortable, family. It's Friday night. How many of y'all old enough to remember TGIF? Who remembers that TGIF? I guess I'm older, huh? Who remembers T? Who knows what TGIF is? Damn, shit. You youngsters, you 20-year-olds don't know nothing about TGIF. But listen, we about to get started. Hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Some important stuff is going on right now. Let me get to her family matters. Yeah, you right. Yeah. Friday night shows. Yep. All right. Thank God it's Friday. For those who know, it stands for Thank God It's Friday. All right, let me get to a quick commercial. And I don't know what I did with my commercial. I gotta find it, but let me get to a quick commercial from the brother King Simon. Be back in a couple of seconds, family.
It's the numerational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now.
Without further ado, I want to welcome back to the platform the one and only Dr. B. Sirius. Welcome back, my brother.
And this was a surprise, man. I was getting ready to watch Star Trek again, man. You know.
I know. I hit Dr. B the last minute, y'all. I want to thank the brother for agreeing to this. I hit him up the last minute, seeing what the brother had going on tomorrow. I'm in alignment with certain things going on cosmically, and I got a certain assignment, and I'm fulfilling my duties here on this realm. Dr. B agreed to be a part of this, and we're gonna have a magnificent time tonight. Dr. B. First of all, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody who was in the chat yesterday. We're back again tonight. This tonight's show is kind of a continuation from my brother Rod Hayes. Shout out to Rod Hayes. Tonight's show is a continuation from my brother Rod Hayes. It's like a two-part series. What's going on is very important. When myself, Dr. B, and Billy Carson talked about Blueprint for God Power last year, we weren't just talking to talk. We were preparing the family for important events that was going to take place in the near future that we wanted everybody to be ready for. And it's that time, family. We've talked about it over and over and over and over and over again. Dr. B, what's good, brother? It's good to see you here. It's good to see you here at this time in history to be to be incarnate down here in this realm, my brother. What's up, man?
You know, a lot of beings, they wanted to be here at this particular time. A lot of folks, because you know, you get to, it's like a bullseye. You know, you
bullseye.
You know, you going down, but you know, not everybody can hit that bullseye. You know what I'm saying?
Shit. Yeah.
You may hit the planet and have a lot to do and a lot to say, but there are certain times that you can hit a lick that just changes everything. And those of us that are here right now, we're hitting the lick. You know, we're very, this is a very, very auspicious, a special time. We're on a certain angle. We're in emergency mode. You hear the sirens out there?
Oh yeah.
It's an emergency. It's time to emerge. So,
oh yeah.
Congratulations.
Indeed. So this big talk, Dr. B, this word, MAHURTA, Kali Yuga, there's words that are being thrown around. MAHURTA, Kali Yuga, Golden Age, DNA upgrades, matriarch, patriarch. These are key words that are being thrown around. Systems being overthrown. Man, change. Dr. B, it appears to be beautiful times, but for a lot of people, it doesn't look to be beautiful times, depending on what you're watching in the media and on television. But the distractions are there for a reason, and I have you here tonight for a reason, to go beyond the distractions and let people know what's really going on. In terms of your ever since I met you, you've been talking about alignments happening with the photon belt and cosmically and the Sirius star. Tonight's a particular alignment that they say beats all the other alignments that we're talking about, Dr. B. I mean, they say that, and you know what I like about this, and I'm gonna be fast. This one came under the radar. All the intellectuals had time to prepare for all the alignments and they talk about it. And there's 20, 40, 50, 60 YouTube videos about the eclipse of April. This one's under the radar, Dr. B. You had to be tapped in to even know about this one. So this one is kind of extra special to me, Dr. B. They said this is the alignments of all alignments. I don't know if that's an exaggeration or what. I'm going to use it as a permission slip to do what I got to do, Dr. B. Let's talk about what's going on the 15th with this particular alignment, Dr. B. Because I know you got a workshop going on tomorrow too, a free one at that. Go ahead, my brother.
All of the alignments are important. So they're like hours and minutes and seconds on a clock. You can't look at 1 hour and say that's the best hour. That's your viewpoint from your, from your perspective. So all of this is very important. On the 2nd of January, that was the true Christmas. That was the day the pineal oil or pinealine began to flow down the 33 steps, of our vertebrae to hit the cross and to be realigned, moving back up to the temple. That was 13, will be 13 days from the 15th. So if you count from the 2nd, true Christmas, to the 15th, it's 13 days in between. Which means it's divine. And please, if you haven't checked out the video, the class I did about the true Christmas, go to elevationtime.com, and you'll see where I did a whole class about the true Christmas. Before the true Christmas, we had the solstice, another alignment. These are things happening on the earth based on our viewpoint of the sun. Then if you start looking at when we did the God Power events, they were all part of an alignment to get people ready to tap into the divinity code that's in all of us. We all actually have this divinity code wrapped inside us, but sometimes it's covered up by what they call junk DNA. And that junk DNA is the chaos of our lives, all the stuff we've been going through. It looks like junk. It looks crazy. But remember, everything is connected to its opposite. Everything is connected to its opposite. And there are time periods that we go through portals, we go through vortexes, we go through alignments, and this is happening in all of us all the time. You could walk into a store and all of a sudden the lights come on for you, and all the pieces come together. So we'd all like to think that we all are having these alignments at the same time, the same way, but they're different. All different types of alignment because we're all star material and we come from the galaxy. We're not all the same. So this thing, what we say about all people, all those folks, how people are. No, we're very unique. Some of us know that we're from other stars, other systems, other times, other dimensions. So there is an alignment of alignments that happens. And that alignment is when the center of the galaxy is in perfect alignment with our solar system and our planet. That is the time, the MAHURTA. It's a lot of different ways people say it because, we're talking about Hindu and ancient languages that we're probably not pronouncing it correctly at all. In fact, most of what you've read in books, and this is important, most of what you've read in books and most of the knowledge you've received in the last 2,000 years has been read by sleeping people, written by sleeping people, picked up and studied by sleeping people. We have been asleep for at least 2,000 years, deep sleep, 6,000 years in a restful sleep, but a deep sleep for the last 2,000 years. So a lot of folks feel like they know stuff. Oh man, that's deep. That's deep information. They study this and they study that. But keep in mind, the beings that actually were existing at the times when some of these things that we're reading about happened are long gone. They're in a whole nother space, a whole other dimension. So just remember that all of us who have been reading and studying for the last 2,000 years, anything that was written for the last 2,000 years has been written and read by people who are asleep. Am I making that clear?
Yes, you are.
Once we realize what's really happening, and most of the stories that we have are only pieces and particles, then you won't be so deep anymore. You'll realize, oh, wow, there's something new happening every day that we don't know anything about because we're just finding out. We're just beginning to open up the junk DNA. We're just beginning to expand the DNA coils within us. Our minds are shifting. Our minds are changing. We're seeing things change every day. If you look at just the first couple, we're in the first couple of weeks of 2024. Remember I said 2024, we talked about it. 2024 is the time of the 8. Theta, the bridge. It's a time when you must choose left or right, up or down, good or bad. You see what I'm saying? You have to choose which way you're going. It's a bridge. You have to choose whether you're going to cross the bridge or not. You get that choice. Nobody can make you have it. Nobody can force you to have it. Nobody can make you believe it. You have to feel it deep within yourself. And if you're feeling deeply within yourself, you know something's happening and something is coming and it's on the event horizon. And when it's on the event horizon, you don't have to be told. The event that's happening on this Monday, when I studied this information, I didn't study it from this name. But I've been talking about the 26,000 year calendar for the last at least 20 something years. Probably 26 years. That's about right.
Right.
This is not new. It's new because it's just not broadcast so deep, because that Hindu stuff is so deep. You start studying Hindu and those ancient Vedics and Ayurveda, that stuff is very complex and it's coded on purpose so everybody doesn't get it. So what's happening is that the 26,000 year calendar, right, has ages around it. Some people say it's a 24,000 year calendar. Some say it's 26. And it's because it expands, right, and contracts. It expands and contracts. It's never perfect. There are no perfect numbers in this system. Everything is growing, expanding, and it's releasing energy. It's changing. When we move out of this age called Kali Yuga, which is the age that they say we've been in, and that's still just from our viewpoint, from what a certain group of people called it, because people all over the planet called it something else. So don't get stuck on the names. But it has to do with us being at the farthest distance from the center of the galactic belt or the galaxy than any other time. The galactic center, known as the super sun or Hanab-Ku. Hanab-Ku to the Mayans.
Okay.
That's the galactic center. That's the great mother. That's the radio station. That's where all the information, all the music, all the vibe is coming from. That's the great light.
Right.
Hanab-Ku.
Okay.
It's sending out messages in waves every second to materialize everything that we're seeing, feeling. Everything that we are is coming from that radio station. We're like little satellites and little pieces of material coming from the station. And we're picking up information from the great mother. Well, on Monday, Martin Luther King's, is that his birthday? Is that just the day they chose? Did they move his birthday?
I'm not sure.
See how they be moving people's birthdays around, you know what I'm saying? To make it like a commercial thing. Anyway, on the 15th, the age called Kali Yuga, which is considered the darkest time, the most challenging time, when our solar system, our planet, is the furthest from the great light, from this radio station. See, we went through something called the fall of man. And that's when we begin to move away a further distance from the galactic center. That's called the fall of man. And we begin to lose connection with the information, because the closer you are to the radio station, the more information you get live and direct. As you move away from the radio station, guess what? The information starts getting staticky. You've been that, where you've had an old school radio where you get further and further outside the city and the station is playing your favorite song and you can't really dial in because you're getting far away. So what happened was we got to a point where we were so far from the center of the galaxy. This is when the prophets popped up. Teachers had to pop up to teach us. Not that they had the whole thing. They had enough, because they had picked up enough information from the center of the galaxy when they were there that they were able to recant and hold on to pieces of it. Not all of it, but pieces of it. So that's what we call the prophets. They came during a period when it was the darkest, all a part of this last 2,000-year period. That's the Kali Yuga. Dark, rough for everybody. People kicking ass of the asses that need to be kicked, but some get kicked that don't need to be kicked. Why? Because it's a fight. It's like the crabs trying to get out of the barrel. It's survival time. It's time when everybody is just attempting to get a piece of something. So you get a lot of what you might call disagreeable energy going on, but there's still always good energy because everything is connected to its opposite. But this whole thing is connected to light. It has to do with electricity. It has to do with voltage. It has to do with what the waves that are coming from the galaxy. So the largest sun, the central sun, Hanab-Ku, is being aligned right now. It's coming into alignment along with, I need you to hear this, along with Sirius, which is still in alignment, along with the Earth and the sun. They're all aligned. Now, they're not a perfect alignment because Sirius and the sun and the Earth were in perfect alignment on the second. So they've drifted just a little bit, but there's enough power, there's enough energy, there's enough what they call cosmic force to create this huge conundrum of energy, this huge rhythmic vibration. And when we hit the 15th, we hit this place where all of the energy rushes from the center of the galaxy directly onto us. We're getting hit hard. First time in 26,000 years. I know y'all been reading, some people say 38,000 and 48,000. I heard 150 million and millions of millions. I'm just giving you what I was taught by my teachers.
Right.
It's a 26,000 year calendar. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. And there's folks that definitely want to give you some misinformation because why? Then they feel like they're going to be in the driver's seat because they come from the 2,000 year period of darkness. So they trying to hold on. Even though their time is up, their energy is up. If they can mess with your mind long enough, maybe for the next 20, 30, 40 years, you'll still be asleep. Even though you're awake, you'll think you're sleeping. You're dreaming awake, and you don't know the difference between the dream and the awake. Some people are having daymares, nightmares, because they feel, based on belief, based on programming, based on imprinting, that they've been told where we are, who we are, what we're doing. But I'm telling you, if you could let go of some of these programs right now.
Talk to them.
If you could let go of some of these beliefs right now, if you could let go of some of this past information, see, just think about it right now. If I ask you, I said, think about somebody you don't like. Boom, somebody pops up almost immediately. Think about somebody that made you mad. Boom, somebody pops up almost immediately. You don't have to wait anymore because you already have built up all this energy and all this stuff around people and about things that have happened because you feel like they really happened. But a lot of these things are happening for you and from you to get you to wake up to the point where you could dump out this trash, right? Get rid of some of this stuff so that you could pick up the light. You will not be able to pick up the light and the waves that are coming right now unless you let go of the trash. If you're mad and angry and you feel like you're a victim, you feel like people hurt you and they did things to you and you're focusing on the evil and the evil of evils and the boy who's drinking the blah, 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 and who did, you're done. Because the one thing that you've heard almost every day of this new quote unquote 2024 is truth.
Wow.
Have you heard it?
Yes.
It's so much truth.
Wow.
It started at the end. It started actually about 3 years ago. The truth. It's like the sheets getting pulled back. The veil is dropping because the veil was thin anyway.
Yes.
It was just an illusion. Some of us could see through it right away. But this is the time. If there never was a time This is the time of no time for you to let go of the stuff that does not fit. Now, if you got to force it and you want to be angry and you need to be mad and you need a victim and you need somebody to blame stuff on, well, go on. This is good. We need to know exactly where you're at. But you will not make it into the new age. You will not. People will wake up on the 16th exactly the same. And it's not like it happens quick. It's a whole time period. It's a huge thing happening between 2024 and 2027. 2024 and 2020. So it's like they said, the golden age just starts. It'll start on Tuesday at 12 noon. The golden age just starts. You look outside, the sky is gold. Birds is happy. You know what I'm saying? Your enemies are calling, talking about, I'm sorry.
Nah, not like that.
We want this stuff easy. We want an app. Where's the golden age app? You want to make some money, come out with the golden age app. You turn that sucker on, it tells you, it smiles. Hi, everyone's talking so softly. Oh, be positive today. No, there's dark and light in everything. There's good and bad, up and down. It's turmoil. We're going through turmoil right now. Can you see it? Can you feel it? You have to choose each day in this 2024 period, which side of the bridge you're going to be on. Which side of the bridge? If you can't say things, I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, you're done. I forgive myself. People got issues with that. How am I forgive myself? Remember what I did that time? That people still upset about they stole a candy. 20 years ago, they stole a candy and got a spanking, and they still hurt behind that. And their mama told them they was blah, 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 blah. And the daddy told them, and they hold on to those programs because, see, that program is deep, that stuff that your parents gave you. And they said things at certain times with emotion that may have stuck. So you may not feel worthy. They told you you wasn't shit. You ain't gonna never be. And then you got the language of disempowerment in your head that most people taught when we were young about how hard it was going to be, because it was hard on them and hard on their parents and harder on their parents. So you get this programmed language, right, which creates a lockdown or liberation depending on how you use your language, because that has a lot to do with who you are. Your thoughts become your words. And this is really important to know right during this time. Write this down if you need to. Your thoughts become words. Mm-hmm. Your words become actions. Your actions hardened into character. If your character is so tough, if your skin is so thick, if your liver has so much fat and venom in it, and you're so angry and mad, don't worry about it. It's okay. Don't it's nothing, you could do. You could. You're going to need to do some alchemy, because this is the time of doing alchemy. Alchemy. There's a new word. Alchemy. Ain't that a song by George Clinton? Alchemy. You're going to do the alchemy, which is the changes and the transmutation, right, to create the gold. The golden age isn't a time where the sky turns gold and everything is golden. The gold has to do with the gold inside you, the gadel inside you. The gold is in you. The gold is the black gold, the original gold inside you, which right now is mixed with all kinds of other elements because of what has happened to us emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. The people have been through a lot. People are still going through a lot, even as they listen to this program. But some of y'all can feel something growing in your gut. There's a golden light. There's a golden light. There's a torch that's been burning inside you. Once you begin to peel back the layers of this illusion, of this delusion, this is like a video game. Mm-hmm. Then we're projected ourselves into it to see if we could make it to the winner's line, to see if we could make it to the bullseye, to see if you were going to be good enough to go through hell and get to heaven. So in us, whatever we are is being expanded. Whatever you are. Mm-hmm. This is the time we're in where we're going through the DNA change. The DNA will shift on Monday. Your DNA will open up. And guess what? It's like the genie pops out, right? Mm-hmm. The genie's going to pop out and say, well, what would you like? What are your three choices? Now, if you're in, victim mode, you choose more victimhood, because your reticular activating system is programmed to look for more of what you believe. Mm-hmm. You think they're coming after you and there's this evil going on and you watching every disagreeable thing on the internet, then guess what? You're going to get more of that because your reticular activating systems, its job, right, is to look for more of what you're funking for, what you're focusing on, what you're living for, what you're speaking on, what you're reacting on. And people be trying to make you mad, but you have a choice. They did it on purpose, and all the stuff I did for them, and I was trying to be right, and they treated me. And you're going to let that take you off of your crown? You're going to let them take you off of your chair, of your seat, you're going to let them tear your seals? You got 7 seals. You better make sure those suckers is right, on the right angle. You got 7 chakras. You got to make sure that they're spinning right. How do you do it? First, your words, your actions. You have to be able to let go and forgive. This is the biggest one, forgiveness. I forgive myself, my family, and this is the key, and others for imperfections. See, you thought they meant it, but they were demented. You see what I'm saying? They were sick. You might be mad at somebody because they treated you a certain way, but they grew up without parents. They grew up without food, and they grew up without clothes, and they went through a lot. And sometimes people who are the angriest and the most upset, actually are crying the most. They're crying out for love a lot of times. You got to know how to love them, even if it looks ugly. Because all of us have a shadow. The shadow is the most important part. We're looking at the light. We want to look towards enlightenment and the light. Man, the light's going to be there, bro. What you got to deal with is the shadow, the darkness within you that has been developed based on what we've been through, based on a time period, based on the Kali Yuga, based on a time when we were the furthest from the center of the galaxy. We're not there anymore. It's over. But if you still got the sweat, and if you still got the juice of the swamp, then you're not becoming the dragonfly. You got to be that nymph that crawled out of the swamp. That's deep. Because all the nymph knows is drama. All the nymph knows is eating. It's ferocious. It's fighting for survival. Everything is trying to eat it. It's trying to eat everything. It's in the water of drama and victimhood. If you grew up in that, like most of us, you have to change that. It is your job. It is your thing. That is your goal. That's your legend to be able to get out of that. Find the angle, one angle of light, one angle of life, and change the way you view things. If only for one day, if only for one night. So that you can tell the genie, which is your genes, that's going to come fully online. They're going to light up like crazy on Monday. They're actually lighting up now. It's not really just Monday. It's happening right now. We always want things to be one day, This one, it happened on Monday. No, it's happening now. You got to take your trash out now. We have to take our trash out. That's why so much truth is coming through. So many things are being uncovered. And we're like, oh my God, what? I didn't know that. Some of these programs you've been watching, some of this stuff you've seen that you grew up with was based in something totally different than what you really thought it was about. So our reticular activating system, right? It's attracting more of what you are focusing on. We've had wings all the time. We were born with wings. Would you rather start using your wings than flapping around? Crawling? We're going to talk about all this tomorrow. We're going to get into this. You got to change your attitude. Your attitude is an angle. An airplane flies based on attitude. If it has an attitude going down, then it's descending. If it has an attitude that is flat, then it's flat. It's right on the horizon. But when that attitude changes up, it goes up, right? Higher. And it changes its out. To change that attitude, you got to change your altitude. Well, no, I should say it the other way. To get to a different altitude, to change your altitude, altitude, you have to change your attitude. Not just because you're saying you're high vibrational. All this about these titles and stuff that we've had all these years, we want to call ourselves this. People want to call themselves something, and he's just like, wait a minute, did somebody give you that name? Did you go through some rites of passage? Some of us did. We went through something, and you didn't name that because you wanted to be something. So that's another thing about the false sense of security. You feel like you're somebody because you call yourself that, because you read a book and you like the name. See, all of that is fake up. We want to fake it. You got to be real. Who are you at the root? Who are you naked? Who are you just before you go to sleep at night when you wake up first thing in the morning? We got to get real. Now, when you get totally real, and then you know the right mantras, because I've said it many times, a lot of us, we repeat reverse mantras. We're saying in the mantra what we no longer desire. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. We are at the point that has never happened, at least for 26,000 years. When it happens again, we're not going to be here in this physical. We have a huge opportunity that so many people would never have. They never had it. So you are chosen. Yes. Every one of you, no matter what your situation, no matter what your physical, mental, your financial situation, your love life, you're chosen. Now, what you going to do with it? Now, what we're doing right now is we need at least 10,000 people. We need 10,000 people to be at the vibratory rate of 500, which is true love. The vibratory rate of 500 is true love. A lot of folks, they call themselves lovers and all that, but there's two, they got contracts. I like you if. I love you because. Let me just go here for a minute. So we can, I need to say this. Let me find my notes.
Yeah, I love how this started, Dr. B. I definitely appreciate the energy you brought in here tonight. And let's just keep this thing going, family. This is some important times that we are living in. Greatly appreciative.
So we're going into this age, this next age. And I'm not going to say it correctly, I know, but I'm going to just attempt to pronounce it. Krita Satya Yoga. Krita Satya Yoga. Some people going to say, no, that's wrong, Dr. B. The calculation is wrong. Because even if you go study the Hindus, the different Hindus got different points of view of this too. And if you study the different, indigenous cultures, they all have a different piece of this. No one has it all. So please don't beat me down. Oh boy, Dr. B, you're saying it wrong. I'm telling you that we're all wrong. Last 2,000 years of information is just off. We're about to get it to be on by the right mindset.
Facts.
Right? The Satya Yoga Yuga is when we move closer to the center of the central sun, the super sun. Mm-hmm. This is when we finally have the ability to reach our higher mind. Our mind will be at its highest capacity. I don't care how deep you think you've been. Right? You got all this knowledge. You read all these books. I just told you almost everything you've read and studied for the last 2,000 years was off. What I'm saying is we didn't have the capacity to open up our minds deep enough because we were so far from the central sun. We were like in struggle mode. We were in survival mode. Folks had to fight to survive. Folks been through it. Where we're moving now is closer to the central sun. When all of a sudden our higher mind can come on. You don't have a higher mind just because you think you talking high level and you got a high mind and you think that you're positive. It's deeper than that. You think that you deep? It's deeper than that. It's not just talk. It's action. It's a way. It's a Tao. A Tao is a path that you live in your life no matter what. Nobody knocks you off your horse. If you're a lover, you're always a lover. You don't all of a sudden today use a hater. You're a lover. If you come to bring peace and wholeness and harmony, that's what you do, no matter what the weather looks like. But the one thing we got to get right to get in this angle to really pick up this to really pick up this next level of information, so that the genie can program your ship, your genes, the genie, the generation, the I am the generation, I am the genie. When we start looking at the genes and we look at imagination, it all has to do with the genes, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're asking for, what you're being in that particular moment. Love has got to be the thing that's got to come forward. And I'm going to read this so that a lot of people can really get this love thing. Maybe tonight it'll all click. True love is no obligation, no resistance, no expectation, utter respect for everyone, no matter what they got going on. True love is open. It's free. It's compassion and kindness, and it's being victorious, feeling like a victorious person. It's giving. It's generous. It's unconditional relating. You see, it's no judgment. It's heaven. It's powerful. True love. Now, some people are going to get this other thing mixed up with love, fear. They connect these two together, and they love in the name of fear, and they fear in the name of love. It's almost like, love wearing fear's clothing, or fear wearing love's clothing. It goes both ways. Check it out. Fear is obligations, resistance, expectations. You need things to be a certain way. It's disrespect. It's closed. It's control. It's being pitiful and sorry for some other people. Did you know that that's actually fear? It's unkindness. It's being the victim, anger, jealousy, sadness, taking energy, taking other people's energy, stealing their stuff, stealing their words, stealing their poems, stealing their songs, stealing their jokes. Isn't that what Kat said? Folks been stealing stuff. You see, selfishness. Most relationships in fear are conditional. They got contracts and they say, if I love you, if I love you, when I love you, only if you do this, if you act this way. That's actually fear. Love is about gratitude and compassion and respect and being forgiving. That's the biggest one. I'm not sure what each of us are going to do, but we have to do this quickly. Otherwise, we cannot get into this new age. Everybody, see, the energy of the new age will be here, but some folks, they still living in the old age. Think about how many people are, time traveling right now to the past. I had 3 conversations today on the phone. Each one of these conversations were all about the past. And no matter what I said, people are stuck in the past and what had happened and how it's bothering them now. So what you've done is you've taken this past stuff, these ghosts. See, the average person lives in the realm of hungry ghosts. The average person lives in the realm where these ghosts, these old dead ideas and things should be gone and buried. But guess what? We're still holding on to them. We're still mad about it. Don't you get so mad about it? We're still angry about what happened, even if it was just a few months ago. It's done. There's nothing you can do about fixing the past. The lesson of now is to get into this space, in this place, on this path where we're able to let go and forgive. I didn't say forget. I said forgive. Because people are imperfect. You thought they was perfect and they meant to do that. Most of the folks here, we're broken machines trying to use whatever little pieces we got to make it out of Kali Yuga. All of us. Though none of us had us together. We're going to come together here. The only thing we need to realize is that there is the savior energy is coming. What's going to save your ass? The central sun is going to hit. Now, some folks say what time it's going to be. We're trying to, they be trying to get it down to its exact time. It's going to start, if you check with Indian time, shut up all day. Never mind a day. Start now. Why we always need a day? It happened on that day. And if I missed that day, it's like people talk about soulmates. That's my soulmate. Then all of a sudden, y'all have a bad argument. Somebody cheats. Somebody gets slapped. All of a sudden, they're not your soulmate no more. So well, you don't get no more soulmates. There's only one soulmate. You only get one twin flame. See, all this stuff is from this last 2,000 years of bullshit. It's junk. It's little pieces we had to put together. We grew up in a junkyard. We grew up in a junkyard. We grew up in one of the roughest times there's ever been. People kicking people's asses for no reason. People robbing people for no reason. People lying and cheating for no reason. No, there's a reason. There's a reason for everything. You got to figure out what the test is for you, how you're being tested. Are you going to be an alchemist and turn what is not love into love? Are you going to do that? And who you making love with anyway? Who you been intimate with? Because whoever you intimate with, you're a part of. Y'all have joined. No, I ain't like them. You know, my lady, the brother told me, he said, no, you know, I'm a total vegan, man. You know, I've been a vegan for 30 years, but I met this sister, man. She fine, man. She got this big afro, man, and she's beautiful. She's super conscious, but you know, she still eat pork. You know, pork. You know, she eats it, man. You know, but I don't eat pork, but you know, I figured you can't be conscious if you eat pork. Listen, see, all that is some talk about what you eat makes you conscious. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with a person being able to do the transmutation. If you could drink some gasoline, it's like the lady in the movie Dune, right? Remember the lady? She had to drink the poison water. Everybody that drank that, people just sniffed the water and died. That lady grabbed that glass of water and drank that stuff down, looked around like, what y'all looking at? What's the problem? Because she was authentically the real deal. She was authentic. She wasn't faking the funk. A lot of folks talk about how conscious they are, and they go deal with some of the stuff that I've dealt with, or even you, and it blows their mind. They all mad. Talking about who did something to them. We're looking at other humans, talking about what they did and how they think they superior. Ain't nobody superior. We're in a junkyard together. But guess what? The junkyard starts converting on Monday. And you better figure out which way you're going. You better figure out which way you're going to cast your waves. You don't have to do this. Ain't nobody trying to force you to do it. Nobody going, you can't browbeat people and drag them along. Let them go. Half your family members are done. Born in the junkyard, gonna die in a junkyard. I like this concept about the junkyard. Sounds like a new book. A junkyard. But you know, in the junkyard, you can make some beautiful things. I had a friend who was an artist who used to get stuff from the junkyard and weld it all together. He was a pretty famous, you know, artist out in Los Angeles for a while. So it's not that the junk is bad. The junk is stuff that you've got to take the best of. Your junk DNA, you got to take the best things from your shadow self. You're looking at your horoscope. Just don't look at all the good things in your horoscope. Look at the disagreeable things in your horoscope. That's what you got to work on. Same thing with your numerology. All these things are just symbols. You got to figure out how to build the best from the junk. You heard about the lighthouse, the lady in the lighthouse?
No, I didn't. What's going on?
There's only one lighthouse in America that was still controlled by a human being. You know, lighthouses is very deep because they're sending out Morse code to the boats to let the ships know how to come in. The vessels are ships. So your body is a vessel. It's a ship. These are vessels. We're actually in the ocean. This water, this liquid, we're in fluidic space. This air we're in is a liquid. It's actually a liquid. Don't feel like it. You don't feel wet. It is, you know, you can be real muggy or what they call humid. You can feel the moisture in the air. It's water in the air. It's just a different viscosity than the water that you call water. So we're in this fluid. So the Morse code, right, is light beams being sent out to give code to the boats so that the boats know where the shore is, where the rocks are. Only one lighthouse was still being run by a person, and it was a woman. Y'all need to look this up. And her last day of running the White House, I mean the lighthouse, was the last day of 2023. They got rid of her. And all the lighthouses is run through, artificial intelligence. They got rid of the woman who was sending out Morse code. They did not want her to come into 2024 sending out code. Because if it was a woman, she was sending out some code in between the code. See, that's what a real woman does. You can't just listen to what the woman is saying and think that that's what she's saying. You got to listen in between. Because she's living in 5, 6, 7 dimensions. A woman is living in 5, 6, 7 dimensions. Unless you got her mind and you got her so messed up that she's turned out. Like the average woman today is lost and turned out. Why? Because she got caught up in the mainstream. She got caught up in the feedback loop. She was stolen. She's just the booty. It's just about the money. How can I get more money? And when it's just about the money, you know what you get. The art is out of it. But when the art is in it, and you have that mother wit, she's always got a message behind the message behind the message. That's their grandmother medicine. The earth is the mother. It's always sending out messages within messages within messages. That's why you keep seeing angel numbers and all of these different things, because it's the way energy is being sent out by the great mother, and it's information in between the information. That's subtle. So you can't catch that with digital. You can only catch that with analog, the rhythm in between the rhythm. In music, we call it the grace notes. So the woman is running the lighthouse, sending out grace notes, sending out little messages that the man don't even know how to read. All he knows is dash, dash, dot, 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 dash, 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 dot, dot, dot. What about half a dash? What about half a dot? What was that? The woman attempting to what? To keep this thing going. The mama is always attempting to keep it going if her mind is in the right place. So what did they say? They said they needed the woman out of the lighthouse when the light comes. They did not want this woman to be running no lighthouse. They don't want, I'm talking about women, period. They in no way, those who are from the swamp, those who love the junkyard, would like to keep your ass at the junkyard, they in no way desire for you, woman, to wake up. Because if you do, you're going to be sending out half dash notes and training the children and weaving a new world, because that's what's going to have to happen. We're waiting for the men to do it. No, it's time for the women. So they're trying to make sure they get every woman who's in the position they want them in, so they can control the woman's mind. Because that female mind is the mind of creation. That's the dark matter mind. Yeah. You feel me? No. I read this, but something happened to me. Nobody knew nothing about it. Said, did y'all see? They done kicked the woman out of the lighthouse. People's like, come on, Dr. B, you're always tripping on this kind of stuff. Where you getting this stuff from? I'm trying to tell you what's going on. This is the stuff that Dick Gregory and Dr. Ando and Chief Little Bear and all them people talked about was going to start happening to let me know when it was time. Yeah. So the code, right? This whole thing is based on code. This whole thing is a type of super conscious intelligence that is deep, deep, deep. Oh, yeah. So what when I say they, those are the beings who would like to stay in control, who've actually lost control. They don't have it anymore. Okay, those who you think are your enemy right now, they got too much drama going on. They're fighting with each other. Mm-hmm. You know, the junkyard dogs is trying to eat each other right now. Good time for you to get out the junkyard. Mm-hmm. The junkyard of your mind, the junkyard of your spirit, the junkyard of the past. There's nothing you could do. And tearing that junk DNA, open up your DNA by being in the right place, the right time with the correct mantras, they have love. They begin with love. And I allow myself to be healthy, wealthy, and alive. I allow myself to live. I allow myself to say no. I allow myself to get out of chronic servitude syndrome. If you're still in chronic servitude syndrome and you're doing everything for everybody else, you're done. Mm. People do more for other folks than they do for themselves. That's a problem.
That's facts. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that you get to choose now. This 2024 hit hard. I mean, from day one, I was on the beach and something hit me on the beach. In Miami. I'm on the internet on what do you call it? IG did a live on the net. What you don't know is once I finished that live,
Oh,
I lost it for about 7 days.
Dr. B, you was with the aliens down there in Miami?
I
In the
don't want to
mall?
talk who. I don't want to talk about who I was with.
You heard about that, right? The aliens in the mall?
While that was happening, I was down there.
Oh,
I don't know
man.
about what they showed on television with them shadows and the 200 police cars. I'm
Yo,
telling you,
200.
there was something going on that hit. And they had Dr. B, they had me. I was like, what? Whoa. Because, we feel like we're deep and conscious. That's who they're coming after. Who are they? They are just the little beings that don't really have power. That if you are not in your seat, if you're not being the captain of your ship, they come and they make you drift. If you're drifting, the only way these little beings can take you is if you're drifting. That means every day you better have a chief goal, and a chief aim. You don't have one? You're just going to let the wind blow? Just see what happens? Just see what the boss says, see what your husband and your wife says, see what the children say. Okay, that's your choice. That's your choice. I had to go through a purge. I went through a 7-day purge. The first 7 days of this, what they call 2024, they was attempting to kick Maya assa.
Damn.
I had to stay focused. I had to remember all the mantras. I had to do them all. You figure like you taking your herbs and you impervious, man. All I do is drink lemonade all day, lemonade and cayenne. And I'm perfect. Oh, you think so? You think that everything, right, is going to be, you're protected from all this stuff. You're not. It has to do with us going through levels of taking that junk DNA and turning that stuff into love, harmony, and peace. Becoming peaceful within yourself. And here's another thing I just like to say. A lot of the stuff we used to use, it's not going to work.
Uh-oh, I was going to ask that. I'm glad you said that. I was going to ask that.
Some folks know. This about you got sage. I got my sage. Dude showed me some sage one day. He had the biggest sage thing in the world, man. He had that sucker lit. I was choking. I said, man, that's going to give you cancer right there. He's saging up the whole area, right? You must become the sage. See, what is a sage? What is a sage? A sage is a person that comes to convert the opposition into something usable, something good. A sage is a person who does alchemy and goes through the transmutation process to change things that are disagreeable into something agreeable, to change something that's in disharmony into harmony. That's a sage. It's a person. There's certain people that came as sages. That we got into the symbol of sage and we just found a plant called sage and nobody knows which sage we're supposed to be burning anyway. But we got to become the sage now. Become the one. The same thing with your crystals. You've been rubbing on your crystals. You got your crystal bowls. You got your crystal tub. You got your crystal bath. Crystals in the tub. Crystals all over the house. You think the crystals work? They don't. Did you know crystals don't work? They don't do anything. They're just crystals. What they are is tools. If you are able to meet them, remember the old saying, take one step closer to God, and God takes 10 steps closer to you. Now, some of y'all got out the church and said, I'm letting all that stuff go. There was some deep stuff they were saying. So you better get into the metaphysical side of what they were saying in these books. You take one step closer to your original self. One step closer to the center of the galaxy, and it takes 10 steps closer to you. You cannot take a step towards something good if you're caught in the past and your past is disagreeable and you're mad about what had happened and you want to kick the ass of somebody whose ass has already been kicked. People be wanting to fight somebody, I'm going down there. I'm going to kick their ass. Well, when did this happen? Well, it happened 5 years ago. Your eyes and your blood pressure's all up. You know what I'm saying? You get triggered by a movie and the newsman. And what I'm saying is to become the thing that you desire. We must become it now. We can't play no more. Your title don't mean anything. You have to really become it.
Yeah.
Get quiet with yourself. Get real with yourself. If you're going to be with somebody during this time period, you need to be with somebody who has the same angle, the same helical angle as you about love, about peace, about harmony, Yeah, a lot of breakups is going on right now. People is falling apart.
Yeah, I
A
know.
lot of folks was married. They was married consciously, but they wasn't married subconsciously.
I noticed that. A lot of breakups, yeah.
Some folks still trying to hold it together because we have to. Because what about the family? What they gonna say? What they find out that we broke up? Well, I'm just gonna stay in here because I don't want to look bad. You got your hairdo and all your stuff. You need to keep your look and your whole outfit. It's fake. I'm saying it's time to get real. Whatever your reality is. Tomorrow we're going to talk about some things that you can do, some things to look at that can help you get real. Because on Monday, the largest voltage, the largest ball of energy, the largest quantum wave of energy hits us, whether we like it or not. Some folks going to get knocked out. Some folks will be knocked out. This is nothing to play about. Yeah. Now, exactly what's going to happen, people want to know exactly, but we don't know. Don't let me sit here and lie to you. I saw something today where people was telling us exactly what was going to happen. What's going to happen is in the morning, you're going to feel this energy and you're going to feel pink light. Shut up! You aren't here. Shit. I read it in a book. I told you all your books, the last 2,000 years of your books. It's trash. It was great. You don't know shit right now. You need it's best not to know nothing. Than try to know something that's nothing that you thought was something. Did I curse? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so harsh with my words. Listen, y'all. It's about music too.
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to listen to? What are you listening to this weekend? What song you listening to? Huh? What songs you listening to? Have you heard the women rappers? Have you noticed?
You wildin'.
Have you noticed how lovingly beautiful the lyrics are today in the average song? What are the songs about? Why is it on the radio? Who said this was cool? You got children? You're letting them dance and listen to this? You're done. Don't worry about no Monday. What is the rhythms they're listening to now? What is the beat? What is the tone? What is the frequency? What are they saying? Now, I'm going to tell you an easy way to get past all of this. Go to the 70s. Just listen to music from the 70s. Mm-hmm. That was a very special time. Seventh Heaven. That 7 vibration. In the 70s, almost every song was about love, harmony, peace, creating more. Nobody was competing. Folks is competing now. Mm-hmm. Folks is just trying to be who's the best. I'm better than them. Let me do my show. Let me be more raw than the last person. That is a bunch of cattle that's being corralled to their own death. That's what a good farmer does. You corral the cattle. You feed them the worst food. You teach them the worst stuff. Because the more anger and fear and drama that the animal has, the softer the flesh is when you eat it. It's like a tenderizer. Did you know that?
No.
The adrenaline that the animals have before they slaughter them, they want to bring that adrenaline up. So they do a lot of stuff to them animals so that adrenaline is high so that the flesh doesn't need to be tenderized anymore. See, back in the day, they used to have to beat the meat.
Right. I remember that.
Okay, now they ain't got it. It's tenderized because when you are in anger and when you're in fear and you're in madness and you just have this foul mouth and this foul attitude and this foul approach, your muscles get tender. You're actually not being courageous because you're too soft. You're just trying to act hard. You're just trying to be tough. You're just trying to have a look because this is what the people who are in control told you to do inside the prison, inside the farm, inside the Thunderdome. That's why we did it. And a lot of things we did because it was about survival. Let's find some love in your heart. Some real love and do some forgiving. You might need to call a few people, write them a note. You don't have to even actually send it to them. I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfections. So it's not about just this day that's coming. It's about who you are and you becoming the light on that day. You're not waiting for the center of the galaxy, Hanapku, to come to you. You're already waving because she's been sending waves to your ass for a long time. You ever have a neighbor that you've been waving to, they don't never wave back, so you stop waving to them.
Right.
So the great mama, the original great mama, not this one here on this planet, she been waving to us a long time. Have you been waving back? If you don't wave back, the neighbor, right, is not going to keep sending you. The radio station is not going to keep sending you information. It's time to wave back. What can you do? What can you do to help somebody else? Can you do random acts of kindness and speak some kind words even to somebody that's cussing you out, acting crazy? Can you do that? Are you ready to do that? Are you ready to cut off the tell lie vision? And never mind what they're doing in the Middle East. And where is the Middle East? How do you have a Middle East? Where's the Far East and the Far West and the far? What is these directions? The Orient, orientated based on what?
Let me
see all these measurements and numbers. They mess with you. They're made to mess with your head. Get out of all of that. Get out of the titles for a minute and find out how you can be harmonious with yourself. And it might just be by yourself. You may choose to fast. But if you're listening to music this weekend and through next week, the music is going to affect the liquid in your eyes, the liquid in your body, and pollute you. The music is one of the weapons that was used by the junkyard dogs.
Ooh, the junkyard dogs. Dr. B, got a question. First of all, I advise everybody to make sure, this weekend, it is an action-packed weekend with what's going down Monday. Saturday, Dr. B has a free webinar. Sunday, Dr. Phil Valentine has a webinar. So tomorrow, Sunday, Monday. Oh, and Monday night, I'm going to be in Atlanta for Melanin Mondays with Red Pill. So everybody who's in the Atlanta area, I want y'all to come out Monday evening. We're doing Melanin Mondays. I'm being interviewed by Red Pill, and it's going to be awesome. So if you're in the Atlanta area, I'll post a flyer tomorrow, but it's going to be the next couple of days. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Got a question for you, Dr. B. We're learning, we've been taught to pay so much attention to the visible world and not enough attention on the invisible world. So when we get messages, like you said, Big Mama waving to us from the invisible world, we don't feel it. All we feel is if somebody touches our skin. And some of us are so dead that we don't even feel when somebody touches us half the time anymore. What I want to ask you, to teach us how to follow intuitive thoughts, or to get your opinion on how we should move forward, I'm going to give an example, and I want to ask you, what should somebody do? Dr. B, let's say the brother name is Johnny. Johnny's about to go outside. Johnny's feeling good. Johnny just had a good day the other day. He made a lot of money on a job. Johnny's a good guy. He's a giving guy. He says, I'm going to give some money. I'm going to give to somebody today. Johnny decides that he has a $100 bill. Johnny says, I'm going to give a lucky person this $100 today. And, I'm going to feel good because I'm going to bless somebody with $100 today. Before Johnny goes outside, Johnny calls his best friend. His best friend name is Roger. So it's Johnny and Roger. Johnny's talking to Roger. Johnny tells Roger he had a thought. He feels good and he's going to give a lucky person $100 today. Roger tells Johnny, hey, Johnny, you know what would be a better idea? It would be, if that's a great idea, Johnny, but it would be better, instead of giving $100 to one person, is if you break it up and give $10 to 10 people. That way, 10 people get blessed instead of one person. Johnny's not sure about that idea, but Johnny says, you know what? Roger convinces Johnny to do it. So Johnny does it. Johnny goes out. Instead of giving $100 to a lucky person, Johnny gets change for the $100 and gives 10 people $10 each. After Johnny does that, the day's over. Johnny doesn't feel as good as he felt in the morning when he originally had the idea of giving one lucky person the $100 bill. In a situation like that, I bring that example up is because we have these thoughts. They come to us lightning fast, these ideas. In our mind, it makes sense. By the time we tell somebody else, they incorporate logic into our intuitive thought, and they kind of convince us to use logic with our intuitive thoughts. So the thought was to give one person, the logic came in from his friend and said 10 people would benefit more. What do you think personally we should do when we have that intuitive thought, whether it's that or another thought? Should we follow the intuition, or should we kind of incorporate the logic from, should we even tell somebody to begin with? Or and should Johnny have given, do you think Johnny should have given 10 people the money, or do you think the original thought is the one he should have ran with, Dr. B?
I think Johnny might talk too much, like the most of us.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny shouldn't have said nothing to nobody about what he was about to do.
None to nobody.
If you have true intention and you have this intuition that tells you to move, you need to move. But we like to tell other people to get their point of view and to think that they might know more than we, but we are receiving a direct code of information directly from source that nobody has ever received before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The way I see and the way I hear and what I'm feeling, I can't really explain this to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even truly teach it. I can share. Like tonight, I'm attempting to share some of my thought patterns and things like that, but that's not really what I'm really feeling.
Right.
What I'm feeling is deeper than that. You have to realize that everything has changed. The North Pole is not the North Pole anymore. If the North Pole is not the North Pole pointing towards the North Star, where is it? And you know who talks about this? You know, Dr. Ando's wife, Callie Stitchin. She is the one who actually took the pictures of the prophecy on the wall in Frisco, okay, which was part of my whole development. This is where Dr. B's name comes from, this prophecy on this wall in Frisco.
Right.
I think you've actually had her on the show.
Yes, I have. Yes.
Her books, Cosmic Prophecy, and her information is so deep.
Mm-hmm.
It's so deep. It is coming from a woman. See, a lot of men sometimes can't accept it as well because it's coming from a woman, because the junkyard dogs told them that the male dogs was the ones. Mm-hmm. No, it's the people that have children that can actually birth children, or people that have a true love for children. When you begin to realize that the North Pole is not the North, it's not even where it was, everything is off. This whole thing is wobbling. We're wobbling right now. We're going through this wobble. We're going through this procession of the equinoxes, and it's moving faster than it's ever moved before. And now we've got this influx that is coming from the center of the galaxy that each of us is going to feel it individually different. And that's going to what? It's going to take your triple burner, your gut. You see, the solar plexus in our bodies is going to be inflamed. It's inflaming now. Some people can feel it in their gut. Mm-hmm. We're on fire. Mm-hmm. We're becoming alive. This is the fire in the sky that they talk about, the fire inside of us. So Johnny has got to learn to shut up, because we be trying to talk too much. Yeah. Even now, I feel like I'm saying too much. But I'm attempting to share as much as I can, as quickly as I can, with as many people as I can, so that at least you will know that somebody did tell you something. You didn't know what. We're not being exact. I'm not telling you exact. I know. No, I'm telling you what I feel in my gut and what I've been taught by Mama Callie, Dr. Ando, brother Little Bear. One day we can really talk about that brother and the stuff that I learned from him. And Dr. It's just so many people, Dick Gregory, and just not them, a lot of people, because I've had 13 teachers that have always told me one thing: follow your gut, Dr. B. When I looked at my numerology numbers, it said it was all about my gut and true creativity. I looked at my gene keys. It said always go with your gut and your creativity. Always go with that. Never follow the path. When I met Herbie Hancock when I was like 20 years old, I said, Mr. Hancock, what would I do to be a great record producer? He said, follow your gut. Go out on a limb. Don't copy anybody. Don't chase the money. Let the money find you. That's all he ever said to me. Because we're trying to impress other people. For what?
Man,
so if Johnny got the gut feeling to give somebody $100, go give him that $100 and shut up. Don't tell your friend. Because your friend wants you to tear it a little bit, break it up into this and give it this one, that one. You can give more people. You might give that one person $100, and that person take that thing and cut it up and give $1 to each person. You never know where that's going to go, how it's going to grow, but you got to go with your gut. See, we be thinking too much, man. We keep going upstairs up into the temple trying to figure out something that is not logical.
Right. Yeah.
It's, the intuition and mystical things are not logical. Emotions themselves are not logical. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. I just can't figure out why I feel like I'm going to cry. I don't want to cry. You better go on and cry. You got a feeling to cry, to let some of those dendrites out. You know how important that is, to let that pressure out, to cry. You about to have the orgasm and you trying to hold it in because, you don't want the neighbors or you don't want nobody to know that you really feeling something. You better let it out. Let it all out. Run out there in the yard right now, scream in the cold, naked. Do you know what happens when your body gets freezing cold? Did you know what happens to your body when you get freezing cold? Your liver says we're about to die. Your liver sends this message to your body and it opens up all the blood vessels. It sends a message to your hypothalamus. It says we need to bring the inner heat on, bring on the triple burner, bring on the solar plexus because we about to die. So we got to heat ourselves from inside. So the inner furnace comes on to keep you alive. You don't like cold. You wouldn't run outside naked. I'm going to tell you the truth. I went outside the other night totally naked. It was freezing. It was like 30-something degrees. Something told me, I'm telling you, man, I was going through it. I was in the bed, sweating, shaking. Junkyard dog was chasing me.
Oh, man.
I opened up my door, walked outside. The Sirius was in the sky. I walked out totally butt naked in the 30-degree weather and stood there and looked at Sirius. Do you think the junkyard dogs was going to chase me? They said, the Negro's crazy. No, we better go home. He's too crazy. And I went out there and stood there in my full naturalness. And guess what? I went back in the house. I was cold now. I ain't going to tell you. I wasn't shivering my ass off, but I stayed out there till I couldn't take it no more. And all of a sudden, I started coming back. I could hear my mother calling. I could hear grandmama calling. It's all right, boy. We got you, boy. You got to put yourself in uncomfortable positions sometimes. That's when the survival instinct comes on and says, we got to get the heck up, get the heck up out of here. What we going to do? So sometimes when you're going through stuff, you know what I'm saying? It was like that time, we was running from the police. We was outrunning police cars. This is when we was young. We outran the police cars. That's how scared we was. We was running faster, man. We jumped over a 12-foot fence. Survival kicks on. Sometimes when an emergency happens, survival instinct comes on. But see, we've become so complacent and so calm and so caught up with the computer and looking for an app to tell us, right? So we don't turn on that survival instinct. What I'm saying is make yourself uncomfortable. Maybe run your bath water really cold, put it on cold and jump in. I'm talking about these are things that you could do like this weekend. And the beginning of the week, jump in some cold water. Cold water. Now, some folks are scared to do that. So start off hot in your shower or whatever, and then slowly turn it cold and cold and cold so you can shiver. Do you understand what I'm saying? Go get on the swings. It's freezing cold. Go get on the swings and swing in the cold. Ain't nobody out there but you. The children are gone. The police is gone. Get on the swings and this begins to rewind your DNA. You got to put pressure on yourself. Maybe fast. Don't eat anything at all. Maybe on the 15th, if your gut is telling you this, don't eat or only eat one thing. You see what I'm saying? Only eat one thing possibly. And don't eat a fruit or something that's out of season. I mean, it's out of rhythm. Find something that's in rhythm with this particular time. Don't do things that's like too sweet. You want to go bitter, totally bitter, but it's like you can't even hardly stomach it. Oh my God, that's so terrible. Put yourself in an uncomfortable position. That uncomfortable position says, all right, open up, grab all the light. I need you to hear me now. Grab all the electricity from wherever. Now, if Monday comes and you're in emergency mode, you're going to get more light than you got all throughout your lifetime and your grandparents and your grandparents and your grandparents, because you put yourself in urgency mode, in emergency mode. You're doing something that you would normally never do. It may scare the magooties out of you. What are magooties? I just made it
Magooties.
You see,
Mm-hmm.
that's the place to be right now. Let go. Let go. Tomorrow, I'm going to give more information about this. I'm going to talk about some more things. We're going to get into a lot of things, not just talk about the 15th, about the time period that we're in, or the time of no time. This is the end of a calendar, y'all. This is the end of this Kali Yuga when this is like hell. Now we're moving into heaven, but you've got to be careful because you got to choose, because sometimes hell has been so comfortable that you're scared to walk into heaven. Some people expect hell. They need hell. So their reticular activating system expects. In fact, I'm doing a special with Dr. Mahdi in February about the reticular activating system and gene key 55 and how it ties into this. Awesome. And now gene key 47. But whatever you're programmed to believe, you attract. Whatever you fear, you attract. If you talk about disagreeable stuff, it's going to pop up every day. More and more evidence, because your reticular activating system is looking for more evidence to prove what you think you'd like, or what you'd want, or what you might say, I don't want it, but you keep talking about it. That's why I say in your mantras, if you're saying in your mantra things you do know, you no longer desire in your mantra, you attract it. This is beautiful, brother.
Definitely beautiful. Let's take a couple of questions before we get out of here, Dr. B.
All right.
We got about 3,000 people in the chat. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat. Make sure y'all sign up. What, did you tell them the website to sign up to the
elevationtime.com? Go to elevationtime.com.
That's
elevationtime.com. Go to events and elevationtime.com, and then there you can see it. Or you can go to IG. Go to my IG, Dr. B Sirius, and IG, and then go to my bio. Go to where the LinkedIn is in the bio, and you can join the class, and it's free for everybody.
Awesome. Give me a couple of questions for Dr. B before. Let me see if we got some before we get out of here. Shout out to everybody who donated with the super chat. Shout out to all of y'all. Appreciate it. Can't wait. All right, Ascend the Infinite Goddess. She already signed up. That's what's up. All right, Brittany and Starseed Oracle. Shout out to all of y'all. Give me a couple of questions for the brother as we prepare for this weekend. Let's see what's going on in the chat now.
Yeah, her name is Mama Callie. Mama Callie Stitching. Get her book.
Mama Callie.
Mama Callie.
Yeah.
Yep. Some people say Callie. Her book, she talks about the man. She's on some stuff. The cosmic prophecies. This is a part of the cosmic prophecies. It was known by people here. See, this whole group of people here now, this is a new installment of people. There's been at least 5 levels of people here. Do you know? Think about something. You ever see these big cathedrals and capitol buildings around the world that are like built like in the 1800s? Who built those? All they had was a shovel, a donkey, and wheelbarrows. You mean to tell me that you think that the people here now in the late 1800s and early 1900s had the technology to make buildings that went down 25 stories, and to build buildings that were in perfect symmetry with the stars, with all of that sacred geometry inside, all those megalithic stones? Who built those buildings? And were those places of worship? No, they were energy centers, because we were tapping into an energy field, right? A natural energy field. And they had machines that were able to do that. In fact, they got pictures now that are popping up all of a sudden where they show the late 1800s, what looks like blimps all over the sky. And the blimps are connected to these tall buildings, like the tallest buildings, the antenna, they're connected. They're getting a fuel source. You say, well, no, the Hindenburg blew up. Well, that was like one of those, let's scramble it. We don't want everybody to know that back in those days, we had the beings that were here before us had a heavier, more powerful technology. And what we have is the scraps. That's why I keep talking about the junkyard. We have the scraps of that. They broke it up because sometimes power corrupts. So some folks had too much power and they snapped. We got to be careful of that.
Indeed.
You know, this whole thing of voting for the lesser of two evils. Man, you better be cool. What are you talking about?
Mm.
You have to become what it is you desire. We have the power to create excellence. Why not do it? Why use all of our creativity to make the most terrible music, to wear fabrics that's sucking your energy out? That's another thing. The clothes people are wearing, the fakeness, all of the stuff people are wearing, a lot of the stuff that we're putting on our bodies, the kind of shoes we're wearing. This is all the junk that we have to begin to change into something that we can use. We can't go any further. This thing is crashing. It's done. It's over. It's actually been done for 75 years. We've been in a grace period.
Indeed.
We've been in a grace period. So this is a good time for us to choose.
Let me
build or destroy.
Let me get to this question here, Dr. B. What helped you the most on maintaining your grind with no results present? This is from King Thoth.
I'm not sure what he means by maintaining my grind with no results. There's always results.
Yeah.
If you're grinding, I've been grinding all my life. Grinding all my life. If you've been grinding all your life, you got some results. It's just that you may be blind, deaf, and dumb to see. You may not be able to say that that's a result. See, some people can't celebrate. They don't know how to celebrate their results.
That's true.
If you woke up this morning, did you celebrate that? And you want the universe to wave back to you? You want the great mother to wave back to you? You want Hanapku to say, hey, how you doing? Come on, this is the 15th. You got power. Take it. If you have not given respect to what you've received, she's been waving to you, even if it's small, things that you've done. Is there progress? And this is a real interesting thing, brother or sisters too. If you think you've been grinding and you have no results, then just maybe you're disrespectful of what you do have. If you've got $10 today, if you've got $10 and a week ago you had $2, is that results? You think you should celebrate that? You have to celebrate every new breath.
Yeah.
Everything is a gift. For you to be able to type this into this show is a gift. Yes. To have this brother having this platform is progress. I was a little worried. I didn't know when I first found out. I said, how long he been gonna be on the air? You know why they don't mess with him? Because he's using the divinity code. I know what he's doing. They ain't gonna mess with you when you're doing right. It's just if you half-assed and you only got one buttock. You see what I'm saying? You're half-assed. You have to have courage. You got to be like Cat. Cat don't care. But he said it. He said it. If this is my last day, that I'm going to live it and I'm going to celebrate it. Please, each of you out there, learn to celebrate everything you have.
Indeed.
Even if you have only breath and some water, celebrate it. And the reason why a lot of us don't get more stuff that we asked for, because we didn't celebrate what we already had. And we keep talking about how we're broke, we're lonely, we're poor, we're this, we're black, we're that. Cancel, cut, delete, and clear, all of that. You have to be thankful for what you got. Even if it looks like junk, that somebody else can turn it into beautiful art.
Oh, yeah. I love how you answer that, my brother. Let's get to the next question. How do you let go of your loved ones who passed on, Dr. B?
Where did they go? My loved ones went to college. My loved ones are not gone. They just went to a different dimension. Wow. We came from there and we're going back there. Wow. So you can't pass on to where? They've passed on to a different vibration. They are not gone. There is no death. So what we have to do is celebrate. There's the word again. Celebrate what we remember of them and have a council meeting every week. Here's a good one. Every week, the people that you feel you really love and some you didn't really know, but you respected, have a council meeting. A mental, spiritual council meeting once a week and call them to the table. Whoever it was, just call their energy. Close your eyes and breathe. And as you breathe, call on the ones you love and say, hey, look, you see what's going on down here. You see what I got happening. Can you help me? Can you shed some light on a situation that I'm going through? And I guarantee you, if you do this for at least 28 days, you're going to get an answer. Do not think that anybody died that's disrespectful just because you feel like the flesh is it. Right. No, this thing is just like the television set picking up the signal from somewhere else. We just happen to be in the body and we feel like this is it. And you feel like you die. You can't die. We can't create energy. We can't make it, but you can ride the wave. So respect those and give them love and talk to them. They'll answer you. Do it every week.
All right. I'm loving this, y'all. Y'all loving it. Y'all feel this energy. I'm loving this vibe, this energy. It's such a authentic energy that's present right now. And such a we all really want to tap into our true selves, and I can see that from some of the comments that are in the chat, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. All right, Brittany wants to know, how can we implement the children in these rituals for emergence?
They're already doing it. They're copying you. You just tell the children, look, on Monday we're not playing any video games. You ain't got to go to school because they just happen to have a holiday.
MLK, right? Yeah.
And we all going to sit together. And they got, people are telling me this is a specific time, Dr. B. What I'm telling you, this specific time is incorrect. There is not a specific time because there is no time. And if you're using clocks, who made the clocks? Who controls the clocks? The clocks are controlled by Greenwich, mean time. They decide what your watch, what moment to moment is. I am saying take the day. Start on Sunday, the 14th. And throughout, just don't stop on the 15th. Go to the 16th too. Take 3 days. And get with the children each day and hold hands. And just look each other in the eyes. You could just tell your children 7 times, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Just hold hands and drink water and drink lemon. Do something together as a family. You got to take away them devices. Divisive devices. Take away the devices and say, we're going to do this thing. How do you implement them? You're the parent. You create something. And you tell them they're going to get a treat afterwards. We do this, you'll get a treat. What is the treat? I hope my highest choice is it's not some processed sugar, because that wipes everything out. You can forget it. If you're dealing with processed sugar, you'll never get it. You'll never wake up from this thing. You'll never get off the junkyard with white processed sugar. You won't. Sorry. It just shuts down the glands in your head that's supposed to pick up the information, and the information is supposed to come down. It's supposed to go through your body, through your core, through the vagus nerve. It hits the gut, and when it hits the gut, it explodes, and then it goes right into the earth, straight through your pelvis, down into the core of the earth, and it comes back. And the core of the earth sends a vibration, a sympathetic vibration back up, and that vibration hits the triple burner, the gut, and it explodes again. Right? There's triple orgasms that happen. Blam, 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 and it shoots out through the top of your head, and all of a sudden you are in total communication, in communion with the center of all things, of all times, and you got to be here. And most people, billions and billions and trillions of people, didn't get to be here at this time. You tell your children, this is what we do. Take away everything. Tell them, if we don't do this, we're not doing nothing. Just drink water. Let them play. Let them get on the swings. They can get on the swings. Run around outside. You might want to let them run around outside naked. What's wrong? What you on? Put your clothes on. Earth is trying to get energy to your skin. I am saying that this is a time to play and to be grateful and to and go around and maybe make up prayers or something. Make up something that is you're in grateful mode and you're open with your hands like this. I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. Why your hands should be open like this, not like this, not like this, not like this, not all this deep stuff. You're trying to be all deep and all that. I'm telling you. All that was cool for a time, but it's during that 2,000-year period where we was picking up whatever little junk around the junkyard we could find. It's a different way. We got to open up and be satellite dishes. So tell the family, this is what we're doing. You could have a party. Just have family. Look at each other. Just hug each other. It could just be that, just hugging each other, saying, I love you, looking at each other in the eyes and being grateful. Instead of looking at our differences and what we don't have, let's look at what we do have together as families. And if you don't have a family to be with, become familiar with yourself. You got to create it, but you've got to be open because your DNA is going through a mutation. And you're going to get more of whatever you're focusing on and whatever you're looking at. Just be open. Write some prayers. I'll talk more about this tomorrow. Elevationtime.com. Elevationtime.com is the website. And you can go there. We've got, a lot of herbal products and different things. And cleansing, detoxification is important, but also cleansing your mind, cleansing your mindset. You see what I'm saying? And that is the ritual. That is the rites. That is the path. That is the Tao. The Tao is to have gone through all this stuff and still keep walking. Keep walking. You keep walking out into the field. And as you walk out into the field, fall out in that field and know that you are in this field. And no matter what is happening around you, no matter how many weeds are growing in this field, fall in the field, fall in love with the field around you. And the field becomes you, the quantum field. Mm-hmm. Let that field become you. Mm. Keep walking into the field of nothingness so that you become somethingness. Another question?
Yeah. Hold up, give me 1 second. Let me just let me just read something real quick from Brenda, Dr. B. I really appreciate this tonight. I just lost my son in December, and I have felt his presence since the day I found out he made his transition. His transition gave him the freedom he was seeking. It's from Brenda.
Brenda, your son is with you. We are one. There is no separation. Just make sure that you allow him to be with you. Don't call on him all the time. A lot of times we call on people who have crossed into that next realm too much, so they can't go travel. They got to keep coming back. Allow them to travel and bring back the information. We're all going there. Mm-hmm. So we don't lose anything we've gained. And when you get out of this body, you can travel in any direction, any place, and be there instantly. So much love to you, sister.
Much love, Brenda. Much love. I like the way this brother asked this question. He said, not this one. He said, is the feel and the field related?
That's good. That's good.
I like that.
Hey, but I'm telling you, brother's on it.
Yeah.
The feel
is the field.
And is the field. Hey, check it out. In the junkyard, they got us thinking that feelings were bad.
Oh, yeah.
Don't go with your feelings. Get away from it. Don't cry. Hold those tears in. You ever get to the point where you be about to cry and you just figure out how to suck those suckers back up into the tear duct because you're not supposed to cry?
Yeah.
But you're feeling something. The feel is the field. The quantum field, right? Which is all possibilities happening at one time. Is the field, is the feel. If you can feel the thing as if it's happened, it's happening. See, feeling trumps thinking. If you can feel that you're there, if you can feel that your ancestors, those that have passed on, are here, they're there. If you feel you're down and out and lonely and through, you are. Because you just threw yourself in the field of feelings. And if it's a body thing, the subconscious is called the body mind. And you've got to get to the point where you create the feeling that you'd like to feel. And if you can get your mind in the place where it is in alignment, if you can get your mind, your heart, and your gut, and for women, the womb, if we can get all of those, when we get all of those in alignment, for the brothers, it's the brain, the mind, the heart, the womb, and the prostate. Why do you think brothers got so many prostate issues?
Mm.
You ain't been massaging your prostate mentally, physically, and spiritually? What do you think? That's a womb. That's a small womb. It's a room. A womb is a room. So what's happening is when these things are not in connection, there is no coherence. When you got a heart-brain coherence, do you understand what I'm saying? Heart-brain-gut coherence is the next level. Heart-brain-gut reproductive coherence. That's when these things, the rhythm is on. That's when you get the 6/8 rhythm. Boom, boom, go check out my my sonic immersion on YouTube, Dr. B sonic immersion, where I'm playing this rhythm on the drums. And I keep talking about the 6/8 in a lot of these talks I'm doing, because that takes us from just heart mind coherence. It takes us to the gut, and it takes us to the reproductive organs. Your reproductive organs is where your creativity is at. And a lot of y'all may not have the finances that you want because you don't know how to make love out of the things that are not love, and to funk some love off up into somebody and out of somebody into your galaxy where you're creating in the quantum field. It's about making love out of the things that are not love. Now, I know you done had some relatings that has been not too good, and you've been hurt, and somebody told you your heart was broken. But if your heart was broken, how are you breathing? You see, it's about being in a mode of creation. I don't care if it's just a one-off situation or a one night, whatever. That doesn't make any difference. What it is what we're creating. So like on Monday, what are you creating? You have to know what you're putting in the birth canal, because it's like a window. It's like a vortex, which is like a birth canal coming from the great mother, the original mother, directly to us. What you going to give birth to? What would you like to give birth to?
Oh yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. We're gonna end it with one more question. Will our perception of time change after this transition happens?
It already has. Your perception of time is different than anybody else's. Time is something relative only to you. And time has a lot to do with your heartbeat. See, you know, they have these buildings, you know, when they have those folks that they blow the buildings up. What do they call that? They do when they're doing construction, they need to blow up a big building. You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that the pigeons are in the building, and just as this explosion happens, the pigeons fly and never get touched by the explosion? They notice this phenomenon. They take movies and say, how is it that the pigeons are flying faster than the explosion? Do you know why? Their heart is beating really quickly. When your heart is beating faster, you're able to catch the waves faster. You're able to see, hear, and feel things on the event horizon quicker. When your heart is beating slow, let's say you had a snail. The snail was down on the ground when the explosions happened, right? A block away. The snail heartbeat really slow. It don't even know the explosion happened. Time is only relative to the person who is viewing it, who is observing it. It has to do with your heartbeat. If you could slow down your heartbeat, slow down your rhythm, slow down your mindset, time moves differently. We're always changing our perception of time every moment. But then they got you on this Greenwich Mean Time. Who decided the clocks? There's a show called Fantastic Light Fantastic, where they break the time thing down, and they tell you how certain religious groups and political groups wanted to control time, and they needed to control sunlight. And this is, out of this is when you get, daylight savings time. How the hell do you save daylight? Man can save some daylight. Man can't save his own ass, but now he's saving daylight, and you done went with it. And time up in the spring, the time goes up. In the fall, the time goes back. And then, the clock. I want you home by 12 noon. Did you know there's no such thing as 12 noon in the cosmos? The sun is never in the sky the same amount of time or in the same position. This thing is changing. You have to get out of time. Get out of time. When you get out of time, all of a sudden, you begin to get this flow, and you begin to get creative, and creativity is the flow of life. And that's the only thing that makes this whole thing work. This is what nature knows. Nature is always being totally creative and always expressing itself in a different way. If you're caught in time, you don't have to worry about Monday. You won't be able to perceive it because you can't perceive the time that has already changed. Perception of time is not something that is for everyone. It's your perception of time. Get out of time. Leave time alone. When you turn time backwards, you turn it into emit. It's what you're doing. It's not what's going on your clock. It's what you're doing, what you're being, what you're having in the space allotted to you. I don't know if I answered that, but please, it's nothing to do with time. That's why I keep telling you, folks keep telling me what's the 15th, and people are writing all over the internet about what time exactly it is. How the hell you know exactly what time the greatest event ever? And now, check it out. I'm going to say this much, and I'm going to leave it alone. They told you it was the 15th, right? But what you can't conceive sometimes, if you're blind, living in the junkyard, that it's not actually the 15th. It's now. If you say it's now, and you open up your deep dish antennas to the world, it's happening now. It's already happened for some folks. Some of y'all online right now know I'm talking about. It already happened. It's been happening. It happened for me 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Did you know that 2024, you ready for this? Happened in 1996. I want you to get your calendars out. All y'all very intelligent people, get your calendar out and check out the days of the week and everything and how it lays out on the calendar. 2024 is actually a carbon copy of 1996.
And what was I doing in 96?
If y'all go to 1996, all of y'all right now, almost everybody had some cosmic or some type of huge events happen in 1996. You know what happened to me in 1996?
What?
In the beginning of 1996, I met Dick Gregory, and he took me under his wing. In September 1996, I find myself in the Bermuda Triangle, and I lose my mind. I'm gone. Only thing that brought me back was the Dolphins and Dr. Kwaku Ando, who I met at the end of 1996. And that was around the time when the prophecy on the wall was being told, all during this time period. That's when I met Dr. Ando and Dr. Kali and all of those folks. All in 1996. Y'all need to check and see what happened in 1996. Now, it's not going to repeat itself because history never truly repeats itself. What I'm telling you is there's something about that vibration that happened, and the vibration now is a quantum leap of that. So those of you who can go back to 1996, some of you may not have been here, but those of you who were here in 1996, something was happening in your life. Review it. Imagine that. Right? If it was disagreeable, imagine you in your mindset changing the polarity where it was good. Because when I was, went through that Bermuda Triangle and lost my mind, that was the worst time of my life. I was gone. I was berserk. I was a maniac. I didn't know anything. I was a babbling fool for months. I now know that was one of the best things ever happened to me because out of that came my name. I was only Dr. B up until then. And it was Dr. Ando that said, from now on, you're going to be Dr. B Sirius. Look at the Sirius star. That's where your energy is being beamed from. So a terrible event actually has another side. I'm saying some of the events of 1996 may be repeating themselves, but in another way. It's a huge year, 2024. It's a great year. It's a huge event happening throughout the year until 2027. That has never happened in our lifetimes. And a lot of people couldn't be here, and you get to be here. So what I'm asking you to do is celebrate, no matter what your condition is, no matter what it is. Celebrate and focus on what you desire. Feel it as if it's happened. Give love. Be peaceful. Be harmonious. If you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing. Be a comedian. This is what Cat Williams was telling you. I don't know if you saw the symbols he was wearing. And what he was saying, people listening to what he said about the comedians. No, you need to cut and go to what he was saying about the world and about people and about energy and about dharma and all that kind of stuff. Oh my gosh, it's a lot. And a lot of people are doing it. babies are talking. The children are saying things that you might think is just babble. No, this is it, y'all. Listen carefully to your heartbeat. Slow it down so you can slow down time. And you do that by breathing. All the things you desire, imagine you're there. Imagine you're there, and you are. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. until about 3, I'll be on. Go to elevationtime.com. Elevationtime.com. While you're there, pick up some platinum. Where's your platinum, bro? I ain't seen you have no my herbs in a while, bro. What's going on?
I need to re-up, man.
I don't like this. Something wrong. You ain't called me and asked me to send you a package. You need some platinum?
I need all of that, man. Platinum.
Some of y'all gonna need some heaven on earth, right? Because your nerves get rattled when something new comes online. You start feeling these feelings you ain't felt. You having orgasmic situations and you didn't even touch nobody. Need to calm down. Heaven on earth. And also cleansing, detoxification is really important. So we've got the elevated total body program, so you can detox, because you just don't do this stuff and carry your old sludge with you. Because we picked up a lot of parasites in the junkyard.
Yeah.
You see, it's a lot of parasites. I'm talking about the systemic parasites, mental, physical, spiritual parasites, not just the little bugs in your colon. So that's at elevationtime.com. We've got a lot of things there. Please make sure you get on the email list at elevationtime.com so you can know about these events. We've got some classes coming up. We got some things that we're going to be doing with Billy Carson. We got the I don't even want to mention the God Power 3, but I don't mention it right now. Anyway, the awards. The Forbidden Knowledge Awards is coming up in August. And go vote. Go to forbiddenknowledge.com and vote for who you think are the thought leaders, people that have influenced you. Last year, I was up, I was nominated for, wellness, in the wellness category. I won because I was nominated. But, this year, if you feel that me and Brother Rich and other folks are really doing what we came here to do, and we're doing a good job, vote for us. Begin now. Let's start early. And it's actually going to be a 3-day event this time, too. It's not going to be a 1-day event. It's going to be a 3-day event. And I've got a huge surprise for you all at the Forbidden Knowledge Awards, which is coming up in August.
Awesome.
So get ready, be willing, be open, be live, live goodness, do the best you can do. And guess what? Your best is the best you can do, and it's good enough. Just do your best. Watch what you say. Your words are powerful. Don't get into business that is not yours. Shut your mouth. Be quiet. Stop telling everybody everything. And walk and keep walking into the field and fall in that field of flowers created in your mind.
Indeed.
This is the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. B. Thank you to all 3,000 of you in the chat. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, family. I will see you, if not tomorrow, Sunday or Monday, family. Peace and blessings. Peace, Dr. B.
Travel.